Hello, my fellow Dowie. I trust your holds are secure, your tankards are full, and your beards are long and luscious. Today we launch a new Total War Warhammer 3 Immortal Empires campaign here on Darkhaven. Another campaign chosen by you, the Darkhaven community. Thank you. Great choice. We will be playing on Legendary with Ultimate Crisis mode enabled, and I think I'll turn off a grudge too far because we are the dwarves. We're probably going to be the biggest dwarven threat by then anyway. I have brought the turn timer range forward. We will be ploughing on into this part of the game and doing my absolute best. I have seen a few images, a few videos of what the Ultimate Crisis is like. I have not tested myself against it yet. Going to be difficult, I'm sure. Okay, so Grombrindal. Grombrindal is literally, guys, a paragon of dwarven excellence and perhaps the finest living example of a Dowie to ever comb his beard. Grombrindal will be leading our forces as we seek to settle a grudge with the Lord of Nagarond. Why Grombrindal, some of you may say? Well, firstly, as I briefly mentioned earlier, he was chosen by the community. And secondly, the White Dwarf is a bit of a monster. Faction effects. 60% evasion chance when using the underway. That's alright. Although hopefully we won't have to be running away. Weapon strength plus 20% when fighting against elves, all armies. That's very nice. We will be fighting a lot of elves for a long time. Now, the cherry on top of the faction effects has to be calling upon the power of the ancestor gods. There are 4 options here. I've had a little look, and they are very powerful indeed. And the fact that you can choose from varying types, there's one that buffs your economy, one that buffs your troops, and so on and so forth. It's a real nice toolbox. I love utility when playing Total War Warhammer 3. The Lord effects, plus 10 melee defense for Quarrelers and Iron Drakes. Yeah, that's alright. I really hope to be using a lot of Iron Drakes as part of my commitment to playing as Grombrindal, or perhaps advertisement would be more accurate, was that I really want to ram his army with as much firepower as possible, be that artillery, guns, cannons, but also literal firepower, flame cannons, iron drakes, and miners with blasting charges. Explosions, yes please. Reinforcement range of 50%. That's okay. That's okay. And leadership plus 10 for the whole army. That, I think that's actually quite strong. May seem a little bland, not very exciting, but making our super grindy dwarves even harder to grind down gets a thumbs up from me. I will not be delving into the lore because I have taken the time to make a lore video about Grombrindal. Please do check it out. The link should pop up in the top right here. First time I've done that. Hey, always wanted to do that, so I'm happy. And just before we dive in, I do like to have a little look at the roster. So I think the Dwarves have a pretty good roster. Not the best. Far from being the worst. I would definitely put this in the closer towards the 7, 8 out of 10 scores. I will be working on some kind of ranking system. Well, I say will be. I am thinking about my tier system. I do love a tier list, as I'm sure you all do as well. Anyway, tangent there, distractives. It's a good roster. It has some excellent infantry, war machines, missile infantry. The lords are okay. We've only got two options: the Rune Lord and the Lord. Meh. Rune Lords are good. Runes are pretty good. I do like the Flying War Machines. Yeah, it's a good roster. Plenty for us to play with. So, I think that is as much of me babbling at the intro to this campaign as I need to babble about. Less babbling, more warhammering. Let's dive on in. The land of Chill is a bleak and forbidding territory, as unforgiving as the Dark Elves who made it their home. Most in Naggaroth dwell in one of the heavily fortified cities whose sinister pinnacles rise high into the storm-racked sky. Depraved places where murder lurks in every shadow and the weak are slain for the amusement of the strong. Throughout history, many foolish interlopers have taken on the Druchii on their own barren soil. More often than not, their dead bodies end up nourishing it. We will be taking on the Druchii on their own barren soil, but it will not be us who falls. Or will it? Let's find out. I hope it's not us. Not after the excitement. I am ecstatic to be playing this campaign. It's been a very, very long time since I've played as the dwarves. I did recently delve into Thoric, but the grudge system was, I don't know if it was bugged, but I ended up with where I couldn't get it down. It was physically impossible for me to get the grudge down, and it really hit me quite negatively, so I didn't have a great time. So how they play: the Ancestral Throng. This is something I should have mentioned earlier. So use Oath Gold earned throughout your campaign to craft powerful weapons and items in the forge. Again, a massive toolbox there. We can craft all kinds of items for all kinds of situations. A big thumbs up from me for that. Loving it. Complete missions to prevent grudges from going unanswered for too long and avoid negative faction-wide effects. Yeah, I kind of like it. Makes you play out of your comfort zone sometimes. Good stuff. And then use the underway to avoid obstacles on the campaign map. I'm sure we've all seen that. We start with 3 grudges. Win 3 battles against Naggarond. Win 5 battles against the High Elves. And win 5 battles against the following race. Snorri Whitebeard's final grudge. Just to note that there are some rumours that Grombrindal is in fact Snorri Whitebeard, the king that ruled during the War of the Beard, a very important historical event in the world of Warhammer Fantasy. We start out with Drakla Spire. And it's okay. It's tier 2. We can obviously go straight to Clan Barracks to get our much needed Quarrelers. Our location is, I think the best word, precarious. We've got no allies. We've got our backs against the wall. We've got a large territory to defend with little dwarven legs. It's going to be tough. Skaven, Dark Elves, Chaos. Who else? We've got Tomb Kings, High Elves, Vampire Coast, Celostra Diaphan is floating around, and Beastmen, Talroks rampaging around here. So that's a lot of threats, or a lot of targets for our axe. Let's put our hero, Jamek Gilded Stone. Kind of like the name. I would happily swap that if one of you lovely, tremendous, stupendous viewers came up with something dwarfy, thematic, fun. I would happily swap that. Do put that in the comments below. So, Jamek into Grombrindal. Grombrindal into Framut, the Skaven Lord. Clan Septic. This will be an easy one. As usual, auto-resolve only if it will save us time. Or if perhaps, you know, I really need a break. There might be a moment when I'm sick of fighting something, but I will never use it and avoid a good fight. That's the main aim of the game. The best part of Total War Warhammer 3 is the war, unsurprisingly. The battles are amazing. Here we have it. Our first battle on this bleak looking map. You can see some of those spinnerets that were mentioned in the little introduction paragraph. The Druki architecture. We start with Grombrindal. Looking pretty spicy. Lovely axe. We've got the Grombrindal's axe. We've got the Cloak of Valea, the Rune of Grimnir, and the Glimril armor. We've got 4 legendary artifacts. That means 4 quest battles, so that is a big boost. There is Jamek, soon to be renamed, I hope. Hammerers are going to be very useful indeed. Dwarf Warriors, Iron Drakes. One of my favourite units. I know they're not new or anything like that, but they're going to be doing a lot of work for us. Thunderers, very useful. And Quarrelers. Now, let's put the helicopter up here. Oh, who's that over there? And some miners who will be... I apologise to this unit in advance. I'm not a fan of miners. I don't think they're very useful. But I do think one in your army is useful as a screen. A screen. So what I mean by that is they screen my army from the enemy. Their job is to literally be shot at, bombed, fire rained down upon, and so on. The AI will target them, the AI will move towards them, and then we're going to move up to intercept. Take them off skirmish. I don't want them running around. Okay. We do drop bombs, I believe. Yes, we do. In comes Grombrindal. There comes a menace from below, which I did forget about. Bombs away. And again. Start shooting these skaven. Usually I always ramble on about how important it is to chase down enemy units at the start to get that extra XP, but we don't have quick enough little legs, I'm afraid. Why are they going so close? Shoot, for crying out loud. I do think this current edition has some issues with controls and such. Why are they not firing? They're just... It's like they're locked on melee or something. Come on, let rip with some flame. This is ridiculous. They're not firing. There we go. Some flame. So there's a few issues at the moment with the game, I think, but nothing terrifying. Good. That's more like it. I have taken some damage on my helicopter, but that's alright. Well, that was a little bit scrappy. But I've seen worse performances from myself. Did find it very strange that these units were not firing. I can't wait till we've got nearly a whole army of Iron Drakes. I will be gunning for that ASAP. So, a decisive victory, but really, I think Grombrindal's auntie probably could have commanded the battle and also won. 34 losses, all minors. Excellent. Well, obviously not excellent. I didn't want to lose anybody, but they are the unit to take the damage. So, I am going to go for the growth bonus. Gorog is the title of that. As they bolstered by the finest ale, the throng bustles with inspiring tales and joyful songs in the wake of victory. I like that little passage. Okay, battle number 2. And then we're going to have a look at Grombrindal's Grombrindal's skill tree. I like it. It's different. It's strong, but not too much. I think he could eventually become an absolute powerhouse on the battlefield. I do. Okay, again, I like to start with a nice clear view of the enemy. Let's see if I can actually get my missile troops to, you know, shoot some stuff this time. That would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be nice. Okay. Up we go. So let's just quarrel us into the Skaven slaves. There is a lord there. I am going to try and melt him. Shoot the Skaven slaves. They are my only concern, and even that is a loose term. Gyrocopters can tank quite a bit of damage. As you saw then, they were damaged in the last fight, but it soon faded. Right, let's charge Grombrindal in. Menace from below. We're going to have a menace from above here. It's a menace off. Nice. I like that. It's enjoyable. Almost like a little mini game. Right, shut down the Skaven slave slingers. Oh, they've got round there. They've run into combat. I do think it is actually worth leaving the Thunderers on skirmish. Iron Drakes on the flanks, doing what they do best. Disintegrating enemy units. I always struggle with Thunderers. I struggled with handgunners with the Empire. I think they really need to be on the flanks. they need to have an unobstructed field of view.
Let the vengeance begin! The clans unite! Gyrocopter! Kill 'em! Runesmith! Anu!
Okay.
Iron Drakes!
Iron Drakes, melting rats. The smell of barbecued Thagoraki. That's Kazalid for ratmen. Thagoraki.
We demand blood!
Must be quite a pungent scent, I must say.
For the Karazanko! Warriors!
Quite a bit of damage on my hammer is there.
For mountain and hall!
Well, that's that. I can't chase them down. Okay, storming in. 24 losses. See, yeah, as you see, all of that damage on the gyrocopters. I almost said helicopter there. Don't tell Grombrindal. Gyrocopters has disappeared. Which is excellent. 24 losses. Very acceptable. Occupy. And hopefully the growth is being affected yet by the character. I do think growth is what we want. And I think grudge throwers. How long will it take us to get this to tier 3? 3 turns, because we could just go... I think we could just go for Iron Drakes and Cannons and Thunderers. Yes, we're never going to reach tier 4 here, but that's where we're going. Military might.
How can I help?
Right.
I'm here.
Grombrindal's skill tree. It's pretty cool. So the blue line is different. His command line, I think, you know, I don't actually know what the titles for these are. I should. I always just call it the blue line. So it ends only here. It's half as long, but we've got income from trade tariffs. Not very useful for us for the foreseeable, but hopefully in the late game, if we're still going, we can trade with some factions. That will be useful. So all of these here are faction-wide bonuses. A bonus to recruit rank, recruitment cost, movement. That's really strong for all characters faction-wide. Replenishment for characters faction-wide. Shame it's not armies, but characters still pretty good. And the White Dwarf's cool. Global recruitment capacity. And then we do have Lightning Strike as per usual. Sorry, as it is usually. There's no modifications there, and that's not Lightning Strike for the whole faction. The typical buff him up in combat line, and then his special skill line, movement range 15%, so he can give himself 30% movement. Melee defense when defending. I don't defend that often, but I think that is still useful. Vigor loss reduction of 50% for his army, very nice, and is a great one for us. I didn't actually know he buffed Iron Drakes, but he does. So ammunition for Iron Drakes and War Machine units, melee defense and missile strength. It's fantastic. It is a match made in Dwarven heaven. Brilliant. Grimnir's Resolve. This is brilliant as well. We can sit eventually surrounded by Iron Drakes. Pumping that out, their melee defense will be incredibly high. And 35% speed for the Lord's army. So good. And then lastly we have Time of the Ancestors. Turn time of -10 between each passing of the Living Ancestor event. So I think it's 25 turns. When you see what they are, you're going to be like, no way, is that last 25 turns? Well, now they last 15 turns, and then it cycles. You get to choose again. So that is useful, because as I said earlier in the video, it is a toolbox, the power of the Ancestor Gods, and being able to change your tools more often gets another Dwarven thumbs up from me.
One back.
Now, we are going to... I think we just want to get his movement going. I'm going to go a little bit differently. I'm not going to buff the miners. And you will see why. In a moment, we really want to get Rune of Wrath and Ruin, a superb ability that we'll be using a lot. Recruitment.
I'll do it.
Some explosive. Could be good. We're going straight into more Skaven. Followed by Skaven. Followed by whatever's down here. And then into the Dark Elves. I think we take these two. And yeah, into the Dark Elves. So,
The dwarfs need me.
let us take, I think, shielded warriors at the moment. I would get some more explosives, but let's just give him a couple more warriors. Their research. Making our quarrelers better. I'm sure you've all done this 1,000 times. I know quarrelers are not exciting, but we still have to win. We're still playing on legendary. The ancestor gods are watching. Okay. Diplomacy, none. Hey! Just how I like it, I hear you say. No oath gold to spend. The living ancestor will not start yet. And there we have it. The end of turn 1. Exiles of Nehek just flew past then. Flame gullets. What are... Is that... Oh, cool. Ogres. And we got... That's a lovely variety, isn't it? Of enemy types. Honestly, if you can see the smile on my face now. My dwarven beard parts and a toothy grin
You know who I am.
spreads across my face. Looks like we're just going to move up to there and recruit.
It is time.
Yes, yes we are. As close as possible. That one gets to be closer apparently.
Yes.
I'm not sure it matters. We shall see. And again... Oh, I don't know. Some armor piercing is nice. I might take 1 unit of explosives. No. Let's play it safe. We've got a front line now. You can't play the dwarves without a sturdy front line. And that is that. Ending the turn again. Not very eventful. We should be able to take this capital settlement. I'm sure it'll be a bit of a slog. Our arms might become a bit tired from hacking rat men to pieces, but... Oh. Aha! Cool. So, the living ancestor. Such is the age and renown of the White Dwarf that many sagas say he strode with the ancestor gods themselves. It is a claim the White Dwarf does not refute, and no one dares challenge, for to doubt Grombrindal's word or call him false would surely end badly for the accuser. These are the powers of the ancestor gods. So currently 25 turns to choose again, but we can get that down to 15 through his skill tree. So, excuse me, Kin of Grimnir, plus 10 melee attack, defense, and reload time reduction. I think that's very tasty. I might go for that. Valea's protection, casualty replenishment rate, casualty replenishment rate, control, and corruption bonuses for Grombrindal and the province he is in. The White Dwarf. Melee attack, melee defense, and weapon strength for Grombrindal. So these two I think are less useful. They are more situational. I mean, there are situations where these would be stronger. Let's say later in the campaign, we are charging against powerful stacks, you know, we're going to rely on Grombrindal to do most of the work. Maybe then we could go for Paramore or Valea to help him replenish, or perhaps the White Dwarf, because I'm pretty sure plus 30 weapon strength and those stats on top of Grombrindal's already excellent melee stat line would make him nigh unstoppable. The Apprentice of Grungni. This is good. So, research rate, upkeep, construction cost, and recruitment cost bonuses. They would be useful. So when we hopefully break through the Dark Elves, or we find ourselves with 2 or 3 provinces, maybe there'll be a period of sustained growth. That would be excellent. We can pop that and really pump our economy before switching back. But I think we want Kin of Grimnir. At the start, we're just going to be fighting, and it's going to help us out a lot. So that does elevate our troops. I don't think it buffs... No, it doesn't buff lords, just melee units. It does buff our Iron Drake, so melee defense of 38. They could take a few charges. And even Quarrelers are looking quite tasty there, 38 melee defense. So, in we go.
How can I help?
Our first real test. It's saying a close victory. I'm sure this will be fine. Clan Septic. I think that's a nice name for Skaven. Septic. That K on the end there adds that sort of evil, dirty, untrustworthy, infected septic. Lovely. A wonderful use of language in the world of Warhammer. And they do have flowing sewage. No wonder their clan septic. All their wounds are infected because they literally have, and those are warrens, right? They live in there. So they live next to overflowing sewage. Delightful. I'm not sure they would do very well if they tried to launch a renovation program, you know, like Grand Designs in the UK, or property makeover. Is that what they call it for my wonderful American audience? Imagine Skaven on that. In this room, we've opened the septic tank and we sleep next to piles of floating feces. Anyway, let's go and kill these. Ooh, over here. I like and I recommend a nice little corner. So we're going to run over the gates with them. We're going to smash down the doors with these 2 heroes, and then we're going to come up and shoot them with these guys. Let's take them off fire at will and skirmish, and I am going to guard them with some hammerers because I'm pretty sure they will use menace from below. And the brave volunteers, probably drunk, to make sure they don't realise what they're being told to do. I'd imagine they feed them many flagons of ale, Ugman's brew, to psych up these miners who literally going to take hits. Get a couple of shots with them. I can also tank some shots on my gyrocopters. I won't drop any bombs just yet. I suppose I could bang on the gates with the miners. They are good at it. We also a good use of their time. Okay, menace from below. Unluckily for them, they've charged straight into some hammers. My best melee unit. What are they on? Melee attack 58, melee defense 48. Oh, that is a delicious pile of rats over there. Let's bomb them. And again. That one wasn't so successful. Okay, door smashers, up you go. They've done it again. And again, they've charged into my best unit. So, up the walls we go. I'm hoping this playthrough will be a little different to my usual Dwarven approach because of that plus 10 melee defense attack and 10% reload reduction time. I think we can really make a force to be reckoned with early on. That's the plan anyway. Grombrindal charging in. Miners, yeah, we'll charge them in. We'll see how they do. They've got the bonus as well. Let's move up the Iron Drakes. And some firepower. I'll try and get them up there. I'll send them up the walls. Them being the Thunderers. And Hammerers definitely into the melee. We're definitely going to go for a nice big buff as soon as the Hammerers get in. Where are they going? Into combat, I said, not up the walls. What are you doing? Ugh. Where are they going? They're trying to get the ladders. No, go through here, please. Sorry about that. It's I just find it very frustrating that there are issues like that. Pathfinding, particularly in sieges, I think needs a lot to be desired. Can I squeeze these guys out here? Yes, I can. 62 melee defense at the moment because Grombrindal's ability has also popped. Now, I like the smell of rats in the morning. Straight in. Oh yes. Just gonna break that whole blob. That is what they are good at. Beautiful. Up over the flanks. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to get them. I think they're going to be great against pretty much everything. I'm slightly concerned about the matchup against the Dark Elves. Slightly concerned. Because they've got more range and armor piercing. So they can probably kill my Iron Drakes quite easily. I'm going to need something to get in there and deal with them.
demand blood! Rage beyond reckoning! Over here! Over there! Move! Take aim! Move now!
Again, see, look, I want to target them, but they're going to go round because of the barricades. You see that? How they move round? Surely you can shoot over the barricade. Touch annoying, I must say. And again, why have these guys stopped? I definitely clicked charge on a unit. Again, just refuse to go over the shoot over the barricade. Rubbish. It's most frustrating because it's all the time, you know, I'm in a siege, constantly taking damage. Are they going to fire? No, they're just, well, can they break that? Let's get rid of that barricade.
What now? The runes glow.
I don't think they've got much left anyway, these skaven. No, no, there you go. Okay. Ending the battle. Damage 85. Most of that from towers and probably friendly fire. 281 kills on the hammerers. Nothing too eyebrow raising there though. Hammerers killing skaven. Absolutely. Ooh, biting blade. That's pretty good. 45 armor piercing damage. I like that. Occupy. Okay. Province secured. Now, I want these guys to run. Good. I don't want them in our lands. Hopefully we'll get them next turn. I will get to the end turn, and then we're going to have a look. I'm going to swap that for growth.
I'm ready. You know who
I think that... Oh, is that the right decision?
I'm here now. It is time.
Do I want the great weapon variant? No, I want the shielded variant. No, I probably do need that money.
I'm here.
Recruitment cost. Yeah, and capacity. Yes. Okay, a couple of skill points. Absolutely relentless to help us get around. And there we have the Rune of Wrath and Ruin. And already quite a decent force there. Ending the turn. And hopefully we'll be able to set up the next episode. Keeping an eye on those filthy beastmen. Please don't jump into my territory, beastmen. If they've got any sense, they'll run. Yeah. There we have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I honestly am very happy to play as Grombrindal. He is a delightful contrast to the last Lord I played as, Alberic. Great choice. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Speak soon.